Hi everyone, Spider-Man 1991 here, and it's time to do my comic reviews for the week. This was a pretty light week due to the fact that October had about 5 Wednesdays in it, so things really got spread out. Also, these comics were released on Halloween this year, so this should be a pretty quick review because we only have one Marvel, and it is Wolverine the X-Men number 19. Basically, Storm is the new teacher hired at the Jean Grey school. Beast is trying to figure out a way to revive Brew because when they found Brew, they were able to resuscitate him, but he's showing no brain activity, and Beast is working with Iron Man, Mr. Fantastic, and Peter Parker trying to re-stimulate Brew's brain activity to revive him. And also, Wolverine and Rachel Grey are trying to track down the Hellfire Kids Club and make them pay, but they're able to divert Logan's senses, and it leads them to a spot where apparently the Hellfire Kids Club have set up a bunch of graves for the kids at the Jean Grey school. Gotta help Logan. Gotta hope Logan finds them and guts them. Seriously, those kids are really messed up. Wolverine the X-Men. I'd say this is a good jumping on point if you haven't read this series yet. Because we're now past all everything with Avengers vs. X-Men, and I'd say that this issue, if you haven't been reading this series, is a good jumping on point. It is again good jumping on point. I mean, it also has the Marvel Now label, so that's excellent too. I would say this is a good jumping on point, though. If you haven't read, again, good jumping on point. That's pretty much how I feel about Wolverine the X-Men. Moving right along to DC. Only two. First off, Aquaman number 13, the conclusion to The Others. Aquaman and The Others are, after Aquaman's friend Vostok, this guy here in the helmet, dies, they're able to use the operative's equipment to track down Black Manta, and they find Manta making a deal. Well, it's revealed to us that the guy who hired Manta to try to steal the scepter of Atlantis was actually Aquaman's half-brother Orm, who's going to be the Ocean Master in the next story arc. So a fight breaks out, and Orm's men are able to steal the scepter back and get away. Then then pretty much comes down to a fight one-on-one between Aquaman and Black Manta. And just when it seems like Aquaman is about to kill Black Manta, he doesn't, because he doesn't want to be the same guy he was years ago, which was hunting Manta down and trying to kill him out of vengeance. He doesn't want to do that because he doesn't think that, because basically he just doesn't want to, make the same mistake again. Because when he first tried to find Manta, killed Manta out of vengeance, he accidentally killed Manta's father. Now he doesn't want to do that, even though Manta's goading him, come on, do it, prove to them you're a monster. Arthur's like, no. And so in the end, Black Manta gets arrested, I think, and the others kind of go off on their separate ways, and Aquaman pretty much talks to Mera about, how, and pretty much heartwarming scene between Aquaman and Mera at the end. So, Others wasn't really that bad. I mean, it does kind of give us an idea about what happened to Aquaman in his whole year one days, right before in his pre-Justice League days. So that's pretty. So this was a very nice story. As far as the ending goes, well, I am happy that they were able to find Black Manta, and it is nice how it kind of leads into what's going to happen the next story arc, which is going to cross over to Justice League, called Throne of Atlantis, and that is also going to involve Aquaman's half brother Orm, who's the villain Ocean Master, and he's going to play a role in that too. So, this has been a very good. This has been a very good story arc. I would also like to say that it also explored the relationship between Aquaman and Black Manta, and overall, the Aquaman series has been one of the best DC comics they've made, hands down. If you were not reading this, shame on you. You should start picking it up starting next issue when they do when the crossover begins with Justice League. And probably try to find the other two story arcs from this, the Trench, and the others probably wait for the trades to come out. Okay, final comic. Superman, Action Comics Annual Number 1. We are The new origin of the Kryptonite Man is told in this, and And a little more is revealed. And, oh yeah, this story is still set back 5 years ago, like shortly after the incident with Brainiac and when Superman got his armor and stuff. So it's right. So this takes place like almost immediately after that. So it's 5 years ago. It does give us a little more insight as to what happened to John Henry Irons and Lex Luthor after the during the whole 5 year gap. Well, not much, but apparently the Kryptonite Man. First of all, Lex Luthor is actually responsible for the Kryptonite Man. He pretty much hires a scientist to help irradiate a human being with kryptonite radiation so he could fight Superman. I think it's kind of similar to the post-crisis origin of how Lex Luthor created Metallo. It's kind of it kind of reminded me of that a little, but and also shows us how Luthor. Also, after the Brainiac incident, Luthor was apparently fired because General Lane knows he had to deal with the Collector of Worlds, or Brainiac, and so Luthor's getting fired from his government job. And also, we learned that Luthor apparently stole 2 kryptonite samples from Superman's ship when it was under observation at the military. And well, that's pretty much. And also, what I said about Steel, John Henry Irons, was that he does help Superman in the fight with the Kryptonite Man. I mean, he gives Superman like basically one of those hazmat anti-radiation suits, and Superman's able to defeat the Kryptonite Man with Steel's help. And after the fight, though, Superman asks him, like, so are you going to be a superhero now? And John Henry's like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm going to go travel the world, help low-level tech areas, try to advance technologically and stuff. And so that's what John Henry Irons does. And there's also a backup story in this that tells us the origin of the atomic skull, but it's not really much there in that backup, though, because it's just like a few pages of the guy who becomes the atomic skull. He gets hit with the radiation, he mutates, and then he's just stuck on this deserted island, and he winds up nearly destroying everything on the island. But okay, Action Comics Annual number 1. I'd say if you loved the first story arc by Grant Morrison with Superman 5 years ago, and the Brainiac and everything with Brainiac, you might want to pick this up just to give you some insight as to what happened after that. And I think anyone who's still trying to fill in the missing 5 years for Superman should pick this up just in case they're a little curious. I wouldn't say it's essential because it's $5, so. But, it doesn't feel like I'm getting a lot of $5 for this issue. I really think this could have just been told in a single standalone issue of Action Comics, but, I guess they needed something for the annual. But it's still a pretty average read. Alright, that's all I have to say that's it for my review this week. Again, it was only 3 comics, so Action Comics Annual number 1 fills in a little bit more about the 5-year gap for Superman, but not a lot, and still very little about the Atomic Skull's origin. I'd say it's an average read. Aquaman. Very nice conclusion to the other story arc. It showed what happened to Aquaman, what Aquaman was like before joining the Justice League, and also explores the relationship of Aquaman and Black Manta. And Wolverine the X-Men number 19. Basically the setup for year 2 at the Jean Grey School. I'm still not about Wolverine the X-Men. I'm still not sure whether or not I want to get the next arc or not. Basically because I want to save some money because I'm getting some new Marvel Now books and want to see how well those go. Then I might decide whether or not to come back to Wolverine the X-Men, which is kind of a shame though because I do like this series a lot. But overall, not bad issues. None of these were terrible, but it still felt like a pretty average light week. Alright, that's everything. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Spider-Man 1991 saying see you later.